Thank you for clicking on this video and welcome so much to this channel. So without wasting time, I'm going to showcase this 3-bedroom all-ensuite house that stands on a slightly more than an acre piece of land, and the owner was very kind to give me a breakdown of all the expenditures he's incurred up to this level of construction. And something more interesting is that this homeowner is going to get into this house today, like right now. I'm sort of shooting and activities are ongoing to make sure that they get into this house today. So don't mind that the glass windows are not even there. This house, as far as I'm concerned and as far as the owner is concerned, is that it is ready to be occupied, considering all the situations that, especially financial and economic situations that we now face in our country in this time and age. You will understand why someone will want to get into their house in this state. If you're someone who got into their house before they actually finished everything about it, please be kind enough and give us a comment in the comment section below. Otherwise, let us get right into the costings of this 3-bedroom all-ensuite house, incomplete or unfinished for that matter, that you now see on your screen now. So let me see, where do we start off? Actually, let me start off with the roof. Let's start with the roofing. So this kind of roofing is called the versatile iron sheet. By now you know this, and whatever he used on this house is the 3-meter one from the company called MRM, if you like, Mabati Rolling Mills. So this is a very notable company in Kenya, and most of the time if you buy in bulk, they usually have this plan that they deliver on site. I'm not very sure if this is something that really happens up to date, especially given the economic situation that I've just talked about. But as far as I'm concerned, the owner told me that he bought these ones 90 pieces and each costed him 3690 Kenyan shillings. That is 3,690 Kenyan shillings, which comes to a total of 332,100 Kenyan shillings. I hope by now you have your paper, but you do not have to worry. Eventually I'll sum up all these costings and then I'll attach them or pin them in the description box below this video, so you can make your reference anytime you need to do so. About roofing, again, of course, you need timber. Sorry, I forgot to inquire about the total number of feet of timber that were used, but the amount, according to him, was 140,000 Kenyan shillings. And then he used 35 pieces of ridges, the ones that usually direct water to a particular point, be it to a gutter or somewhere else. So these ones he used 35 pieces, and each of them came at 700 shillings. So this totals to 24,500 Kenyan shillings. Then if you combine labor, nails, plain plates and miscellaneous will include things like food, transport, etc. This roofing cost totaled him to 601,600 Kenyan shillings. And if you ask me, I think it was a really good job done, because this is a process that has taken him so far 3 years. 3 years since he started constructing this house. So it has been a progressive process. Anytime he gets money, he puts it into the project. At the same time, you have daily needs, like family needs food, your children need to go to school. So it has been a very progressive process that has now come to this point. Then now let us move to the windows. You can see the kind of grills that have been used on these windows are really a very high quality type. And at this point I need to mention that this is the second time he did the windows, the grills. So these grills have been done for a second time, because the first time he did it, being that this house is in a quite an isolated place, thieves came and stole everything including the doors, so he had to do it again, and this costed him 293,000 Kenyan shillings. So every time I hear someone is doing construction, I really just take my hat off my head and give them all the respect that they deserve, because it is not easy. All the challenges no one ever mentions on camera are going to be mentioned here today. Number one, you've just heard this is a 3-year-old house. Number two, you've heard the challenges this guy has had to undergo just so this house could get to where it now stands at. And these are some of the reasons that actually make him want to come into this house today, because being that it is quite far from where he stays now. Accessing it most of the time is not very easy because, you know, he has to balance all these things with the daily routine of life, you know. So when he's away, the caretaker sometimes, you know, they do their thing, and then the thieves come in and they take him 13 steps back. Yeah, so on the positive side, electricity has already been installed and they are ready to get in today. Of course, the windows will be acted upon by putting either polythene bags or mabati sheets, just so they can be here to prevent further cases of burglary. So electricity piping took him, costed him 20,000 Kenyan shillings. And then these stones you see on your screen now are what we call the Kedoa stones. They are really ranked very highly, and they cost as high. So it costed him 160,000 Kenyan shillings. If you combine with the sand, cement, the BRC, plates and others, you know, building roads, things like the D8, D10, and of course labor and miscellaneous as far as the walls and the windows are concerned. The walls plus the, what is it called, that basic thing that you start with when you're starting construction, foundation. Yeah, sorry, I'm not a building expert, I'm just trying to learn so that we move along together. So all that costed him 793,000 Kenyan shillings. And notice the step that I now get onto. There is the step option and there's also the ramp option, which I think it is very thoughtful, you know. Not everyone that comes to your house, whether they are expected visitors or not, are able to walk. Some people are disabled. So when you consider the ramp, then you know you are thinking very broadly. It does not limit anyone from coming to your personal space. And then something else that I need to mention before I forget is that the plastering in general costed him 120,000 Kenyan shillings. This includes cement and labor. Then windows, I mentioned the grilled windows. Everything about them costed him, labor. You know, I'd mentioned the construction cost for the windows, but now labor was 40,000 Kenyan shillings. So you can imagine it is quite costly. And this is not an amount that someone gets out of the bank or a SACCO in just a day. This is a process that someone, you know, according to what he explained to me, sometimes you are dead broke and you know very well that you need to move to the next stage of your construction. Then if you have fundis on site, it means that they have to be paid on a daily basis. There is the main fundi, and then there's in Kenya we call them watu wa mkono, or they are supporting fundis. So you have to have a certain amount of money like every day. Notice the quality of the door that I now closed. This is the one that communicates to the sitting room or the living area. It is very high quality. I commend him for the kind of job that he's done. And to imagine that you'll go into this extra and then someone comes and just pulls it down and goes away with it, not to be trusted, it is quite demoralizing. But I'm happy that he was able to pick himself up and continue despite all these challenges that he faced. So let me give you a short tour so that you can see the interior of the house before we summarize on the further costings for this house. So this space that you see right now on your screen is the living area. Notice that the floor has been done, and it has been done Nero. This is Nero. There are a few chippings and cement on the floor, but after cleaning, of course, it is just good Nero. They are not ready for tiling or any other form of flooring now. It is just Nero so that it is functional and it is not very dusty once they get inside later today. So the walls have been done, and it is important to note that the partitioning has been done out of bricks. So it's only the exterior that was done using the Kedoa stones, and then the partitioning was done using bricks. So this helped to cut down the construction cost to quite a very significant margin. And then this is the dining area, and this big window communicates to the kitchen. So to the extreme right, we have this corridor that leads to the 2 bedrooms, each of which is ensuite. So this is one of the bedrooms, and this is the other one. I love the fact that the windows are very huge and letting in a lot of light. Look at that one. It's really good. So there's enough light even as much as the walls are quite dark. Sorry about the lighting. I didn't carry my light, of course, but this is the the bathroom area for one of the bedrooms. You can see how it looks like. Part of it has been done, and plumbing system is done. It's only that they cannot be used. So at the moment, curing has been taking place. You can see water on the floor. The floor looks quite good to me. I know a number of people who got into their houses and the floor had not yet been done. They reported a lot of dust and disadvantages, especially as far as cleanliness is concerned. But this one here, I believe, is very habitable. Of course, we've talked about the grills. They are really strong and functional. They're also looking very good. I like the fact that even to the feel of my hands, they feel really strong. So it is no wonder they costed the much that I mentioned, but I think it is good value for money. So I'll just close up the window and then we'll get on right to the rest of the house. I remember growing up, my dad took us to our home, like it was in this state. Sorry, let me start. That is the wash area. Right now it's serving as a store, and we move on. I'm telling you, when I was growing up, I remember I was maybe in class 1. My father brought me into a house that was looking more or less the same. In fact, it was worse because I remember the windows were just made out of wood. Well, that is a story for another day. Let us focus on this house that now lies ahead of us. This is the kitchen area. I love how spacious it looks. I love the work table, or is it called the worktop? Yeah, it is looking very spacious and overlooking the window. I would love to wash my utensils here so that I just look outside and I sing my songs. So there's this other area here. Some people call it a patio. In Africa, you cannot leave it open. Okay, let me say Kenya, because actually they'll just come and steal things from you. So it is enclosed, but it is a veranda area. And finally, we get to see the master bedroom. Right here, it is very spacious with good lighting. There is also a smaller window to the back side of the house. So this is an extra for me. I feel like you should be able to get to check the back of your house without necessarily having 2 large windows in the same space. That will be quite overdone. So I love the fact that they thought about a smaller window that can actually be used to check on the back side of the house. And then of course that is the MWC area. And that is just it about the master bedroom. Of course, it is ready to be occupied. So you have all the reasons to stick on to my channel. And so far, if you find this content likable, please like the video. There is a button right under the video where you can just tap on it, and it means you like the content. It helps the channel grow. If you are not subscribed, also take time to just take a second so that you can tap on the subscribe button, and that will really add value to me as a digital content creator on YouTube. Thank you very much. Then let us head out of this bedroom. We've seen enough. So this corridor leads us back to the kitchen area and now to the patio. I had just pointed out to the patio. Patio in ordinary language is just the veranda. Let me not complicate the video. This is just the veranda. The only difference from most houses that I've seen is that the window is quite limited. There's just one to the front. So you can choose to use this space as a relaxing area or a welcoming area for your guests, or if you're cooking with relatives, some of them can just sit here and chat if you like, and then you can also convert it into a sleeping area in case you have a lot of guests in the house and all the bedrooms are filled up. Then of course it communicates to the compound. So we are back to where we started once again. I hope you've not been skipping or fast forwarding the video, because you miss out on the costing and the little extras that I throw in once in a while in the video. So let me just summarize and say that the total amount of money that has been used for the construction of this 3-bedroom all-ensuite house up to this level is 1,901,600 Kenyan shillings. And finally, because I'll not like to bore you with a lot of theories, I'd just like to summarize the lessons that this owner has learned up to this level of construction of this wonderful home. So number one, he tells me that you do not have to pressurize yourself when you want to construct your dream home. Just move at your own pace. Number two, you must be available to inspect the kind of work that the fundis are doing at your site. So it's either you have someone very trustworthy on site, or you have to make sure that you make a daily appearance. Then you find good foodies who can execute your plan. And last but not the least, of course, there are many lessons people learn when they are constructing such kind of homes. But he says, you need to buy quality. Don't use shortcuts. Sometimes you talk with people, maybe friends, and they tell you, I know somewhere you can find sand at a cheaper price, or I know where you can find bricks at a cheaper price. The owner of this home recommends that you just have to do your own research. Then when you find quality materials and quality fundis, you get to pay. Then eventually you'll get value for your money. And of course, it is not a smooth ride, but at the end of the day, it is worth all its while. So finally, there is this front section of the home that they have actually just planted maize. Usually you'll find this section of many homes having a very beautiful ornamental plants. Sometimes you find a very beautiful grass, but for them at this point, they decided that they need to have a good source of food, because buying food is not easy. So in the meantime, they've decided they're putting aside the issues surrounding beauty, and they just have to produce their own. And with that, I come to the end of this video. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up or tap on the like button. If you like this even further, you can share and ask your friends to subscribe to my channel. I'm very grateful. May God bless you until the next edition. It is bye for now.